I was out in the garage today and I found an old Puch moped piston in my toolbox, something from a moped that I used to work on when I was a teenager. And this belonged to one of my friends way back when. We're talking like 10-15 years ago. The piston is from a Puch moped. It's got two rings on it here. There's no oil ring because it is a two-stroke piston, so the oil naturally comes in through the intake charge, which goes directly into the crankcase. The piston has a ding in the top, and coincidentally it happens to be the same size as the electrode on the spark plug because the dummy friend of mine that used to own it put the wrong spark plug in it, and the piston repeatedly beat itself into it, and that's why it has a hole. You can also see there's an awful lot of ding marks in the top of that piston. And it appears that the motor had either severely overheated and started shedding aluminum components inside of it, and the piston started beating them up, or maybe somebody threw a handful of BBs or something into his engine and thought it'd play a little prank on him. But anyway, that comes out of an old motor, and yes, that motor still runs. I still have a lot of it in the garage. I just simply have to put it together and put it into a moped. To compare to this 50cc Puch piston happens to be my Honda CR500 piston. And you can see the considerable difference in size. This little guy was intended to make between 1.5 to 2 horsepower, and these guys regularly turn out about 60, 65, somewhere out there. And of course, if you give it a little extra performance tune, you could probably get them up to 75, 80. And I think anything above that, and you're going to blow up a motor. But again, comparison, 2 horsepower versus 60 horsepower. So you can see the big difference on that right there. Just wow. Big difference. And it's just kind of neat seeing those two things side by side.